Hey guys, so today I'm going to be looking at family secrets people finally found out about. So yeah, let's just get right into the video. My uncle didn't die in a car accident. He killed his mistress and then offed himself by crashing his car with her body in the trunk. Well, that's a freaking coward way to go about it. My dad secretly had a vasectomy after I was born. After my mum lied to him about taking birth control resulted in my birth. I was number 4. He knew she was cheating when she got pregnant with number 5. Damn! What the? Did he get a DNA test for all the kids? My great aunt's husband killed his first wife, then killed her. They lived in Puerto Rico and he fled to New York City so my great uncles wouldn't kill him. They found out where he was, came here, killed him and went home. Damn. How did they do that? I mean, why does it sound so damn easy? What? Yeah, they just came here and killed him and then flew back to their own country. That's all that happened. Easy peasy. Okay, I guess, yeah. What a freaking story though. He fled to another country to hide and these people literally chased after him. And once they were done with their mission, they were like, all right, let's go back. Done and dusted. My dad's first cousin is a serial killer. We saw the America's Most Wanted episode when it aired and were so surprised to hear about him, not knowing he was a relative. Oh my gosh. What? Imagine, let's say you know a relative to be like so nice and kind and then you see them on TV one day and they're like the most wanted serial killer. Bitch, what? You're telling me all these years I hung out with you, I could have died? But serial killers don't normally kill family, right? Do they leave their own family alone? They kill like random people? They have like a target, right? Like for some serial killers, it's like long-haired women. I always thought my 2 older brothers got addicted to drugs because of their own decisions and the people they hang out with. It turns out that my dad had been feeding them pills since they were 10 to shut them up. Years I held resentment against them for not being good older brothers like they should have, to only find out it was my father, who I had praised all those years, that was truly evil. That's freaking sad. Their dad did that to them. He should go to jail, man. Why the neighbors moved. Trigger warning for violent crime. I was pretty young when this happened, so the details won't be perfect, but the story is otherwise true. I grew up in a coastal town and we had some neighbors whom I really liked. My parents were friends with them. Their kids were roughly my age. Wonderful. We played together all the time. One day they suddenly moved. I was a bit confused as there had been no clue that they were going. I remember some police cars and the moving vans weeks later, but that was it. My mother told me that the kid's grandmother had become very ill. The cops came to tell the family, and they left emergently to care for her and never came back. I was only about 5. Seemed legit. Many years later, as an adult and long since moved away from that area, my parents and I were reminiscing over our old home. I mentioned that I wondered whatever happened to them. That's when my mum told me the truth. The parents had gone out that night on a date and left the kids with a 14-year-old babysitter. When they returned home, they found the sitter murdered. Someone had broken into the home and SA'd, then killed the sitter. My mum stated the cops think the sitter pretended to be the only one home to protect the kids. When the parents got home, they checked the kids were safe and set them back to sleep. The police obviously immediately came. Once the kids were hard asleep, the parents picked them up, put blankets over their heads, asked the cops to be silent as they walked them out, and took them out of the house. They gave the kids the same story my parents told me. Grandma was sick and they were going to live with her. Grandma dutifully played along with the ruse until the parents could find a new home to live in. The kids were kept unaware of what had happened just mere feet from them, as they didn't want the kids to be forever terrified of it happening again. Not sure if the kids ever eventually figured out the truth of that one. Wow, that's freaking sad. The poor babysitter. But damn, those parents were fast. They were calm about it too. They didn't even scream at nothing. They literally checked if the kids were asleep and they continued to let the kids sleep. I couldn't do that, man. I think I'd just go crazy. Oh my God, someone died. I can't be like the parents. Shh. Like, bro, what the hell? I'd still be freaking out thinking like the person was still in the house or something. Like, I'd be scared as. That my biological mother used to give me heroin and Valium as a baby and toddler to control me, then drop me off at my grandmother's house when she couldn't afford to share, so I'd go through withdrawals but no one would know what was wrong. Needless to say, I was put up for adoption to get me away from that. What a freaking mum. That's crazy. Dude, is that what happens to a lot of babies with parents that are like drug addicted? Ah, that's sad. My grandmother married her second husband entirely for money. Her daughters both liked to joke about her intentionally giving him a heart attack. He had heart problems but liked to eat unhealthy food, and the rumor goes she would put extra salt and butter on his food until he finally kicked the bucket. Oh. I wonder how many cases of these are true. Wow. That my grandma didn't lose her leg to cancer. She lost it because she got injured helping my grandpa fix the roof. And my grandpa was too cheap to have it fixed properly, so he told the doctor to cut it off. Then he beat the crap out of her for life. What? So she lost her leg because of him? And he would still do that to her? No feeling of guilt whatsoever? Dude, people suck. I found out when I was in my early 30s that my mum hadn't only had 4 kids, but actually 6, but gave 2 up for adoption before I was born. Also, I was the last baby she had with some random before she married my stepdad, and she had intended to give me up for adoption as well. Silver lining, one of the babies she gave up contacted her a few years after I learned about this, and now I have an awesome new brother. Aww. It's because they had no money, and they just couldn't afford to raise the kids. Come on now. My paternal grandmother had an affair with our small town's mortician in the 1940s. She got pregnant and he performed an illegal abortion. The fetus was buried behind the funeral home he owned, where we kids used to sled every winter. My dad told me this as I was getting ready to take a ride down the hill on the sled when I was 12. Also, paternal grandfather had multiple illegitimate children around our small town. Turns out one of my best friends was also my half-cousin. Father told me when I was 17. My father was educated, intelligent, honest, and moral. The fact that his parents were so wild was absolutely shocking to me. How do you just tell that to a kid? Oh, you know what your grandmother and grandfather did? Gosh, Dad. Jeez, like what? Why would you say that? I just want to look at old people as old people, okay? I don't want to see old people like they had a past. No, thank you. Because honestly, whenever I see old people, I just see someone like old and like kind and nice, you know? I would never think that they could have been a very bad person. They could have served life in prison. My uncle was actually my cousin. He was kidnapped as an infant, and when he was returned a year later, my aunt didn't want him back. My grandparents adopted him, so he was legally my uncle. That is sad. The aunt didn't want him back. He got kidnapped and then he was returned. And the aunt was like, I don't want him. Why did you return him? Dude, the kidnapper must have been so confused. Like, huh? I mean, I'm returning your baby. You don't want your baby? Well, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoy. Tell me in the comments down below what your thoughts are. And as always, thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye!